Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys an old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into this album's 10th anniversary, and it's from one of my favorite death metal bands. And as you can see below the title, today we're going to be talking about To Hell with God by Deicide, the band's 10th album released on February 15th, 2011 through Century Media Records. Now, let's just go right back to around 2008 or 2009. They had pretty much had this was the follow up to their previous album, which came out in 2008, called "Till Death Do Us Part." And then they were working on a follow up, and this album was actually supposed to be released back in 2009, but then it was pushed to a 2010 release. But then it was finally released like a year later in 2011. And of course, Deicide, they still continue to have like death metal with like the satanic kind of like lyrics and stuff. Let's just talk about like production. Fantastic. Deicide can do no wrong and have really great production. The vocals from Glenn Benton, I just love his layered vocals. Like he has like the more guttural kind of like glows, and then like the high shrieks that he does. And the guitar work is tight. Jack Owen, when comes up with some really sick riffs, and the lead playing from the late Ralph Santola, rest in peace. And this was actually his last album that he did with the band. After this, I believe he left. And drumming wise, Steve Ashim's drumming is great. Like he does some really insane like drumming. So yeah, now let's just dive right into this album track by track. Now starting things off is the title track of the album, To Hell with God, which just brings a barrage of like insane blast beats followed by like guitars and Glenn's vocals. And the one thing you'll notice is just Glenn just sounds pissed off, like really pissed off. And I don't know. And this song like features a little bit of like change of pace. It's like slowing down a little bit here and then going into like faster speed there, and it's insane. And this track is just punishing from beginning to end, and it's just like pretty much what sets a precedent to what we're gonna expect for this album. Moving on to Save Your, which sort of like demonstrates some really great drumming from Steve, and a style that Deicide has used probably since their debut album, which came out in 1990. It just has some like really just insane like great drumming on this track, and I feel like Steve just really just shows really great techniques he has with this. Moving on to the next song on the album, called Witness of Death, which is just another thundering beast that features some more just fast and just furious riffing, and just some really great vocal patterns from Glenn, especially around 2 minutes in. And it's just then we're treated with like another great solo as well. Conviction has another like tasty, catchy riff, and it kind of slows the album down a little bit, which features monstrous like riffs and some ripping machine gun like double bass drumming. And it's just awesomely just ripping, and just a shred-tastic guitar solo, which also sounds a little bit melodic too. Empowered in Blasphemy, another monster, just highlighted by just some fiery drumming and just some wild soloing as well. The next song is called Angel of Hell, has another pulverizing while just, I don't know, it's just highlighted with also just a crushing kind of like breakdown section. Next song is Hanger. I can't even speak today. Hang in Agony Until You're Dead, which has some really great punchy yet dissonant grooves to change things up amid the mess of like the shorter songs that just fly the fuck by. It also kind of sounds like a little bit kind of like Rain and Blood a bit, just like just goes really just fucking fast. Moving on to Servant of the Enemy, which just keeps just the brutal assault going with just some more vicious drumming, just some insane riffs, and just some really menacing vocals, and just some more killer soloing. Into the Darkness You Go. Now this song is another slower yet addicting riff that features another great solo from Ralph. And then we close the things off with How Can You Call Yourself a God, which is without question the best song on this entire album, and one of Deicide's best songs in the entire song catalog as well. It's just an epic monster. It's just highlighted by just some great vocal patterns, vicious blast beating and heart racing riffage, and just some really just infectious like soloing that just melts your face, and just some really great melodic soloing, just especially near the end, which is just fucking great. So overall, To Hell With God by Deicide, another great album to their discography. So I'm going to give this album a score. I'm going to give To Hell With God by Deicide a solid 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of the album, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.